Eh, you ever stop and think, wow, that would make a great story? Same here. On Cat Stories, we pull together short tales from life that'll make you laugh, think, or just go, yep, been there. My name's Kathleen and let's get started. And for our next post, am I the idiot for throwing away my mom's old pressure pot? So, my 49F mom have had this pot for about 25 years, is very old and doesn't work. It has given her a lot of troubles during the past couple of years, but yet she tries to fix it, change the gum, etc. One day the lid was not able to hold the pressure and just flew away and made a huge mess in the kitchen. No one hurt, thankfully. She already have a new one that she uses regularly and works just fine, and she likes it. My grandma suffers from Diogenes syndrome, and I'm thinking my mom might also be slowly developing it as well. She always collects unusable, broken or dirty items, keeps huge amounts of pizza boxes just because, have trash bags full of clothes that she doesn't even wear anymore, have tremendous emotional attachment to those things, doesn't really clean or keep those things organized, just bring them and put them somewhere. And since I grew in pretty much a hoarding house, my family lived in my grandma's house when I was young, I don't like to keep things that have no use. So, while deep cleaning the backyard where she keeps most of her stuff, I was putting aside old pots that are no longer useful, and also put the old pressure pot that almost exploded there and waited for the garbage truck to come pick it up. Today she was looking for it, saying that my uncle 58M, another hoarder, fixed the lid. When I told her that I threw it away, she had a huge tantrum, saying that I throw everything away, that how could that be possible, how could I, and screaming and cursing from the top of her lungs. Not an exaggeration. I understand that for her it can be difficult to get rid of some things, and I try and do it with her when we and while we still can, and make it as healthy as possible for her, taking our time, remembering good times so she can be faced with reality but still be able to let go of things she also find useless. So, am I the idiot? And for our next post, am I the idiot for telling my brother's fiancé the truth about his dream wedding? My 26M older brother 29M is getting married in a few months, and his fiancée 28F is deep in wedding planning. Recently, she was excitedly telling our family about all the ideas they were incorporating, emphasizing how much my brother always dreamed of a fancy outdoor wedding with hundreds of guests, live music, and an extravagant venue. The thing is, that's a complete lie. My brother used to tell us all the time that he hated big weddings, thought they were a waste of money, and that when he got married, he wanted something small and intimate, just close family and a few friends. So, I jokingly said, that's funny, because just a couple of years ago he said he'd never want a wedding like this. She looked shocked and asked what I meant. I explained that he used to say he wanted a simple courthouse wedding or a backyard BBQ-style reception. Nothing fancy. She went quiet and looked upset. My brother shot me a glare and later pulled me aside, furious, saying I had no right to interfere. He claims that he's grown and that things are different now, but I can't help but feel like he's just going along with what she wants. Now my family is split. Some think I was just being honest, while others say I should have kept my mouth shut. And for our next post, would I be the idiot if I don't invite my father's parents to his celebration of life? My 28F father passed away in October. When I called to let my grandmother and grandfather know, they were obviously shocked because I don't think many people expect to outlive their kids, and it was super sudden. No one knew my dad had any issue going on. The next day they both showed up, talked about how shocked they were, and then my grandmother told me congratulations on my inheritance. My inheritance is a property my dad had bought from them 2 weeks before he passed away that he hadn't even made a payment on, in a business. But she was upset she didn't get the property back. She never told me she was sorry he was gone or that she missed him. Since then, she's only texted me when she wanted stuff they hadn't bothered to move yet, or she'll just show up unannounced. She harassed the funeral home for weeks about the death certificates because she wanted the money in an account my dad was on. She and my dad had an extremely strained relationship, though his relationship with his father was better. If I told him, though, she would be in attendance as well. So would I be the idiot if I don't invite her to his celebration of life that I'm planning next month for him? Edit. I do have a lawyer and I'm currently going through the probate process. And for our next post, am I the idiot for refusing to give a ride to my boyfriend's relatives? Me 19F and my BF 21M have been together for 4 years. During this time I've obviously met his whole family, which is pretty big. They gather pretty often in parties that tend to end after the public transportation services finishes. The thing is that some of his relatives don't have a car of their own, so when it's this late they have no way of going back home. All of this started when one time I was asked to take home some people. I obviously said yes, and since then they take for granted that I will take them home every time we reunite. Mind you, this is a 40-minute ride at night, and they have never offered to pay for some of the gas. I don't want to sound like an asterisk hole, but why is it my job to take these people that aren't even my family to their house for free? The worst thing is that the people that are able to drive are my BF's mom, his two brothers, himself, and I, but for some reason we two always end up being the ones who do the job. His mother always uses the excuse that she will get lost, as if I won't, knowing that I've had my driving license for less than 2 years and his brothers are always busy or tired. I've argued with my BF many times about this, but he always tells me that that's how a Latino's family is and that he doesn't want to do this either. So the big conflict was yesterday. Same as always, I'm expected to drive them home, but this time I said that I was not in the mood to drive. Mind you, this was at 8:00 p.m. and they could have easily went home by bus. They just simply wanted a ride because it was easier for them. They reacted surprised with a mix of disappointment. But that was it. Later that night, my BF told me that these relatives told his mom that they were shocked about my behavior. Now he's mad at me for creating unnecessary conflict and being inconsiderate. So, am I the idiot? And for our next post, am I the idiot for not letting my mom stay in my house after she flew 4 hours to see me? I, 21F, and my mother, 54F, have a very strained relationship. I grew up being Mormon in the South, and she let my dad abuse my siblings, and I ended up moving out when I was 14 to live with my grandmother, and I went no contact with my mom. When I went to college, I went very far west and drove about 30 hours to get to said college. Around that time my mom started to contact me. I did stay in contact with her because as I got older I realized that she too was hurt by my dad, but she was still with him. I continued to be wary and never actually visited because I had my own life. When I got married, I didn't invite my mom, only a few of my brothers. She didn't seem to mind that much, and so I let her more into my life. My husband, 22M, and I are having a baby soon. I ended up telling my mom this over the phone and she congratulated me. A few weeks went by and she was obsessed with the idea of me being a mom. It was weird. She kept bringing up my old religion and how this was going to connect us. A few weeks ago my mom texted me to pick her up from the airport, and then she called me in a rage when I told her no. She asked me where she expects her to stay, and I said not my place because I didn't invite her and didn't want her there. I'm not sure where she stayed. Not long after, I start getting texts from my sisters who are bashing me for building up a relationship with my mom only to manipulate her. I feel bad because maybe it did seem like I wanted her around, but that was never my intention. I just wanted to be at peace in our relationship. I didn't care if it was still not the greatest. So am I the idiot for not wanting her around? TLDR, I had a strained relationship with my mom until I went off to college far away. We got a little closer just over text and calls. Then I told her I was pregnant, and she flew up to me, unannounced, and I told her I didn't want her there. Now I'm getting texts from my siblings about how heartbroken she is and how I manipulated her. I've been restless about it and wondering if that's what it seemed like, because that's not what I wanted to happen between us. And for our next post, am I the idiot for declining my BF's XGF invitation to hang out? My boyfriend, 25, and his ex-girlfriend, 24, were close before we got into a relationship. She recently asked him if he wanted to hang out and said he could bring me along. She just graduated and moved to the city from her province, so she doesn't know many people here, which might be why she invited us. I'm not sure if she's with her sister, who also recently graduated. Since my boyfriend and I got together, they haven't had conversations like they used to until this past December, when she reached out to ask for permission to go to their house to hang out with his younger sister. In the past, their conversations have had some flirty moments, and she often shared personal things with him, like her dating life. She also sometimes visits their house to spend time with his sister. Because of this, I feel awkward and weirded out by her inviting us to hang out. But at the same time, part of me wonders if she's just being nice like my boyfriend says, and maybe, since they were close before, she just misses a familiar face. What do you guys think? Am I overthinking this? I could use some advice. And for our next post, would I be the idiot if I confronted my fiancé about his health issues? Let me start by saying while I am an open book about nearly everything, hence my posting this, my fiancé is decidedly not. I have 25, have lived with my fiancé M 29 for 6 years. We recently got engaged about a month ago. We had some issues in the past that led to me struggling to trust him, but we've made great strides in that. I will say one quality my fiancé has made it difficult for me to rebuild the trust. He is a very secretive person about things that make him feel ashamed or guilty. Unbeknownst to me, apparently my fiancé has been dealing with some health issues that aren't super concerning and seem to barely interfere with his day-to-day life, but worth seeing a doctor about all the same. He did not let me know about this. I found out when cleaning our office a few weeks ago and found a few bottles of pills dated from a few months ago and Googled them to figure out what they were and why we had them. While I was hurt, he chose not to confide in me as I so often do with him. I did not confront him at that time since I figured he was ashamed and didn't want to worry me. I know he's not receptive to me bringing things up that he doesn't want to talk about. I can hear him telling me I'm ambushing him and shutting me out as I type this. One of his email accounts is logged in on my phone, and tonight when scrolling through my inboxes, I noticed a bill from an online medical care provider. I Googled it to see what it was, and it was for a completely different health issue I didn't know he was experiencing. As mentioned, I know he will not respond well if I just spring it on him. I also know sending him a "we need to talk when you get home from work" text will cause anxiety for us both. I wish I could just let it go, but I'm worried if I don't get this ironed out now, I could be left in the dark for the rest of my life. I need transparency, and I want to know, before we get married, if he will not be able to give that to me. Would I be the idiot if I confronted him and told him I need the truth about what's going on, or should I let it go and trust he'll tell me when he's ready? Info for clarification. I wouldn't call finding the emails or pills snooping in the context of our relationship. As mentioned, we've lived together for years. I was simply cleaning in the office we share and went to put something away in one of his desk drawers and found the pills. This is the same way I'd found my engagement ring in his sock drawer months prior. Trust me, I was not looking for anything, but I found it. In regard to his email account, he'd logged into it on my phone a few months ago when his phone had died. I did not intentionally go through his inbox. There is an option with Gmail to browse all inboxes, and I was looking for a specific email but couldn't remember which account it had been sent to. Again, a situation of not looking, but finding. That's all for now. If you enjoyed the stories, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. But a story to share? Drop it in the comments. I'm always up for reading them. Until next time, it's Kat. Goodbye.